International MSME Day and being at the forefront of really helping a lot of MSMEs, 1.5 lakh MSMEs annually is Shiprocket. Saahil Goel is the MD and CEO now joining in to talk a little bit more about how they're looking to grow merchants of Bharat and what the long-term plan is in order to help MSMEs. You know, what kind of role e-commerce really plays in unlocking the potential for these MSMEs?
I think there's a huge potential for e-commerce to allow small businesses to participate in nationwide, retail. As the footprint of e-commerce, the cost of starting a business is very low compared to trying to do this across, a traditional retail channel. So it actually is a very inclusive medium. It opens up the doors for people from all kind of sizes, stratas, and it's anybody can start getting into the digital world either through platforms that are already there, through platforms like Shiprocket, and now even with the government-backed platform like ONDC. I think e-commerce has a potential to allow, like I'll give an example. We work with this set of hair oil, tribal hair oil sellers out of the south of India, where a group of families in a village are basically creating this hair growth oil, which is unique in its properties and is blended in their homes. And before e-commerce, they were sort of selling it through traditional offline wholesale mediums and making very low margins. As they jumped on the e-commerce bandwagon using help from Shiprocket over the last couple of years, they've 100x their business in that period, and they've been able to reach the big cities. They've been able to reach remote corners of the country. They've been able to harness the use of cash on delivery as a medium. They've been able to harness the use of WhatsApp as a way to market their product. So very, very unique stories coming out of heartland of India, and again continue to be very excited with e-commerce penetration going further up.
So, what exactly, is the role that Shiprocket plays? Because you have formed strategic partnership with entities like ONDC, etc. How have these really contributed to the growth of MSMEs, and what else are you doing to help MSMEs improve their efficiency?
So we actually work very closely with the government on multiple accounts. With ONDC, obviously, we've been one of the front runners and big proponents of the cause. We were the first intercity logistics partner on the network. We are one of the largest seller apps on the network, and we are continuously pushing our merchants, and we work with over 150,000 of them to continue using ONDC's distribution capabilities to help these merchants get their orders, and through other buyer apps like Paytm and PhonePe. We also work with the government in terms of working with India Post. So we're one of the largest partners with India Post, where we help them, get access to e-commerce demand, where our merchants in smaller towns get access to nationwide shipping, and larger merchants get access to consumers in the remotest parts of the country. So very unique partnership with India Post there. And we are also partnered with DGFT and India Post for doing cross-border. So one of the initiatives that Shiprocket is focused on very heavily is to enable merchants to sell frictionlessly across borders. And we have done a pretty decent job over the last 1 year, and there's a lot more that is going to come from there in the coming years. And I think it's a big opportunity for Indian businesses, independent businesses, to start tapping into the global buyer demand market. And we're at the edge of trying to make that extremely easy and extremely intuitive, so everybody can adopt it in a very easy fashion.
With the e-commerce market in India expected to reach close to $300 billion, what is it that you're looking at as the next big opportunity for MSMEs?
See, I think the e-commerce wave of today is made up of maybe 250 million consumers, with the large majority from sort of metro cities, and kind of following the existing way of doing e-commerce, which is proven by the marketplaces and so on. We actually think in a country like India, as this e-commerce market grows from the current 80-90 billion to the 300 billion mark, and then ultimately to the 1 trillion mark by 2040, the ways that commerce will happen will not look like the ways of commerce today, right? So platforms like Shiprocket as well as ONDC make it possible to innovate on the very model of how commerce can be done, whether it is kirana commerce, local commerce, social commerce, live commerce. It can be sort of like omni-channel, where if you have a small uh, offline store, how do you use that to capture customers and then reach them later, and so on. So I think many new forms of commerce will emerge in India, and SMEs should very, very heavily use technology like Shiprocket and other platforms to basically be at the bleeding edge of this, because the only way to really harness this is to use cutting edge tech around AI, or cutting edge tech around marketing online, or cutting edge tech around using supply chain very effectively, to be able to then participate in all of these great things that are going to happen as the next 300-400 million consumers start shopping online. So that to me is a very exciting opportunity for both platforms as well as small businesses to really tap into the next wave of commerce that's going to happen in India.
And you touched upon it, but how have you looked at government regulations, the private sector, etc., really creating a very collaborative environment for MSMEs to flourish?
I think we look at it very positively. I've been tracking the Digital India movement as well as Startup India for a few years, and there's been tremendous progress there. And then with the advent of sort of technology platforms like UPI, Aadhaar, ULIP, ONDC, Open for credit, all of these things are putting the power back in the hands of the small businesses to be able to inclusively participate in all forms of commerce. So I think digitization is the greatest driver for progress, is my view. And I think the government is taking a lot of steps. So I view it very positively.
Okay, thanks so much for joining in. Good to have you.